Damn!
Today's tune is my favorite car added in the 1.34 update, the Nismo R32 Skyline from 1990. Today we're going to answer the question of how do you take an already amazing car and tune it to its peak performance. So this car is one of the highlights from the 1.34 update for me. Not only did we get the ability to add extreme engine parts or engine swaps, but just overall this is one of the better cars that they've added to the game. So just a heads up, this won't be a cheap tune, but it is one that I think you should try out if you have a few additional credits hanging around. It's by far one of the best 600 performance points cars out there. I built a few different tunes for it, but I really enjoyed it at 600 pp. It does work well at 700 pp as well. This video is going to cover that tune built specifically for Tokyo. I'll talk about its pros and cons, and cover off some details of the car that you might not be aware of. This car actually has a pretty cool history. So this car is tuned just perfect for Tokyo. The car naturally has a decent top speed. You can add a bunch of aero to this tune, and it manages its weight incredibly well. That means you can keep this thing at high speed around all those sweeping corners and accelerate well out of them. The stock car is fine, but we basically applied nearly all upgrades possible to this thing to squeeze out as much performance as possible. I've tested it on multiple 600 performance points races, and it actually dominates on all. The great news is the fuel economy is also fantastic. This results in a single pit in Tokyo, and as a bonus, it's actually not chewing up your tires either. Which means you just got more options on how to run the race how you want it. You can basically run it to your preference, and you've got better longevity on the track. So for Tokyo, I was running a single pit, taking it easy on the wet laps of 1 and 2, and from there on out, the car handles great on the sweeping corners. I posted one of my best lap times at 2:09, but overall the race was in the 27-minute range, which puts this car on parity with my best tunes for this track. You really can't have too many Skylines in a Gran Turismo game, so as much as I expected this car to be identical to its cousins, it really is much more refined. It really is one of the better road cars out there. So a bit about the Nismo R32 GTR. The R32 was created to win touring races. Stock engine has displacement to meet Group A regulations, all-wheel drive, and overall was a high-performance machine. The Nismo version appeared in the second year of production, in the form of a Group A model with limited production of about 500 cars. Compared to the standard GTR, the Nismo model came out equipped with fins above the front grille to help with engine cooling. It had an air inlet open in the front bumper. And to help with aerodynamics, the rear end of the side sills had protectors that directed airflow around the rear tires. And a small rear spoiler was added to improve downforce. The turbos were changed from metal to ceramic, and the exhaust manifold was specifically redesigned for this car. In addition, weight reduction measures were taken, removing the AC, audio system, and rear wipers to drop another 66 pounds from the car. The GTR Nismo won the top touring class in Japan and a number of endurance races in Asia, Europe, and Australia. The Nismo R32 Skyline is already in legend, but we're going to make it even more formidable with the race. Our goal is to optimize its power, handling, and aero without sacrificing drivability. So let's get into the tune. As mentioned, I've targeted this car to run it on Tokyo, but this tune is versatile. It'll work on nearly any track. Once you have the suspension tune, you can adjust the tire selection and engine output to get it to qualify for most races. So the horsepower increases to 542, max torque is bumped to 391, weight drops overall, but I've added some back in for a total of 2959, and I've adjusted it to get a 50-50 weight balance. Acceleration, top speed, and cornering are all dramatically improved. For performance parts, the car maintains aero from GT Auto, sports hard tires, fully customized suspension, fully customized LSD, a full control computer, a power restrictor and ballast, a fully customized manual transmission, and this was done to save performance and apply more power. It has an ultra-high turbo, anti-lag, and a racing intercooler. And then the racing components include an air filter, muffler, exhaust manifold, brakes and pads, and a brake balance controller, as well as the carbon drive shaft. This tune also has a bunch of permanent upgrades, literally everything I could slap on the car. So I'm going to list them here and at the end of the video, but pause if you need reference as you build out your own tune. This car's got bore up, stroke up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, high lift cams, titanium connecting rods and pistons, racing crankshaft, weight reduction stage 3, and increased body rigidity. Basically, any ultimate upgrade we could add, I did add to this car. So the bulk of this work of this tune goes in the suspension, making the car even a bit more responsive. I did adjust the ride height and raise the rear. Tightened up the suspension, adjusted the camber, and reworked the natural frequency. This did make it more stable on corners, and a key thing on Tokyo is you want enough downforce to hold the curve. Overall, the stock car is fantastic. I didn't mess with this one too much. It's basically just tightened and lowered, with a dramatic increase in the amount of aero. So downforce is your friend on this one. It helps you toss this car into the corners and maintain control at higher speeds overall. Basically, the overall car is solid. This is by far one of the more stable cars on this track. It's great in corners, it's good in wet or dry on the track, but it really comes to life when you can toss it at near full speed in the corners. Overall, the car is not the fastest on the track. It does get up on the straights roughly, I think 195. It's kind of what I've had it at. But it easily could be one of your more consistent cars on this track and able to grind at multiple levels. So for the race strategy at Tokyo, this car is just amazing. Fuel mapping with this fuel economy can set at 1, meaning you can go full tilt for the entire race. You'll be in first position after a few laps, and you'll be able to hold that to the end of the race. Again, I ended this race with just over 27 minutes on the timer, making this car one of the better, more stable options at 600 performance points. It's also given me some of my best lap times, with numerous laps at 209 or 210, and this does make it one of the better grinding cars in the game. Not only does this have power and acceleration to hold most cars at bay, but it's got decent fuel economy. So this car is pretty stable. It's got great balance, it transfers its weight well, it's got good acceleration and top speed, and overall it's just a blast to drive. So this car is available from the used dealership for $400K, which is a bit expensive. I'd still argue that it's a bargain at that price. I would pick this one up immediately. You won't regret the purchase. I'll likely add another one to my garage and tune it to the 700 performance points level as well. And basically you can cover off the investment and this tune by running 1 or 2 races and it's paid for itself. In terms of livery, this one is from the creator on screen. Probably one of the best liveries out there for the R32, so be sure to comment and share on behalf of the creator. So I hope you enjoy this tune and this car finds a spot in your garage. If you like these tunes, please like and comment below. It greatly helps with the channel growth on YouTube, and it helps let me know what you guys enjoy. If you're looking to connect with others around gaming in general, feel free to join the Discord. There you can find more info on GT7, tunes, or just help with tuning in general. It's a great community. As always, thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next one.